Welcome back, black men. What's up? All right, so this is a quick tutorial on how you can make a salad or an alternative to some of the overprocessed or carb heavy foods. And what I have here is spinach pre-cut. I cut myself. I have white cabbage here in this container. I cut beetroot. You can see that on the top, but under that I have red onion. I have jalapeno pepper and another vegetable I can't think of right at this moment, tomato. Here I have one boiled egg and then red cabbage. So essentially, if you cut the cabbages maybe on a Sunday night, they're going to stay nice and fresh if you keep them refrigerated and properly sealed for probably 4 days. So if you have several containers for, let's say, maybe 3 days, Monday you'll have it, Wednesday you'll have it, maybe Thursday or Friday you'll have it, then these other complementary vegetables can be cut the day of or the night before, depending on what you have and what you like. If you know for some reason your body doesn't adjust well to spinach, well then use lettuce or whatever it is that works for you, kale. If you know your body doesn't adjust well to tomatoes, just don't use it. The major point is this is a food that more than likely is going to do more benefit than harm. So here we go. I've already got the spinach chopped up. I'm just going to basically add the cabbage. Try to get an even mix here. And pretty much every time I add an item, I'm going to lightly season. So I have a little bit of salt here. I did not have any on the spinach before I had put it in here. All right, that's enough there. And here we go again with red cabbage. And sometimes just seeing the colors already makes it a little more appetizing. Of course, you can just leave it kind of layered like this and not mix it up if you like, but just giving you a demonstration here. Go and add a little more salt, just a little bit. That's enough. Now, I'm going to start adding the beetroot. And I think I cut just 1/8 inch thick slice and then diced the beetroot. All right, the majority of the beetroot is out. Spread nicely. Again, less salt this time. Less salt. Now I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper. A little turmeric, ground turmeric, not fresh. And they do have two distinctly different flavors in my opinion. Fresh turmeric versus ground. And cayenne pepper. I'm just choosing to add this here. It's my choice. I don't want to add it consistently throughout like I'm adding the salt. Now we're going to add tomato here. Specifically after the tomato, I'm going to go back with salt again and black pepper. And as you experiment and learn on your own, you'll begin to notice what you like more or less of. And the way my body responds to these foods is just such a positive feeling. I never feel like, even if I overeat, I never feel like I just have to lay down or that my body is working so hard to digest the food. It just feels natural, like it should. So now we have onion and jalapeno. So I'm just gonna dump this out. If you notice, when I was spreading the other things, it kind of spread naturally. So we're going to help it out here a little bit. And if you don't like red onion, go with what you like. White onion, scallions, yellow onion. There's plenty of alternatives out there. These are just foods that are readily available all the time. I can depend on them being fresh whenever I go and get them. And they're not, they're budget friendly. Multi-levels of benefits. This small habit, just trying to focus on having one meal a day that is relatively high in vegetable, can more than likely actually heal you, heal the body, allow the body to rest, get nutrition from living food. So we have to start eating to live. Not to say that we're not doing that or not trying to do that, but sometimes, especially if our food supply isn't as fresh as you'd need it to be, or whatever other issue it may have, unfortunately with pesticides, it's more difficult to have nutritious food that are vegetables. But you can take the time to clean them with water and vinegar, or water and salt, or water and baking soda, which is what I did with all of these. So the spinach I cleaned with water and vinegar. The cabbage I cleaned with water and salt. And they all soaked for about 15 to 45 minutes. And the spinach I also had baking soda in. The spinach usually seems to be have the most debris, the most dirt. So the cabbage is usually, it grows and it's tightly packed. So if you wash the outside thoroughly, usually the inside won't have much exposure. But of course, hopefully grew in a natural environment. There could be pests. So I usually let the cabbage soak in salt water. Now, notice we're not having any type of dairy salad dressing. We're just going with olive oil. I'm kind of liberal with the olive oil because my body likes it. It really helps the digestive system, my digestive system. We got olive oil and a pre-cut slice of lime. Not going too heavy with it. You'd be surprised how much juice you get out of it. I like to blend the limes with watermelon. I also like to just add the lime juice straight to my water. All right. I'm gonna give it another mix. Man, this looks so good. And that's another thing about the culinary experience and the consumption experience. When you see and know where your food came from and looking at it come together and become more delectable, let's say. All right, so this is pretty much ready to be served. Or nearly ready to be served. Everything is nicely lubricated with olive oil or lime juice. Have a nice mix. Of course, I can add more cabbage if I like. Do the same. Set this here. I also sometimes like to sprinkle a little oregano. All right. Now, put the egg up. More black pepper. Just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit. Didn't want to overdo it right there. And a little more cayenne. We're in business. These tortillas aren't necessary, but I like to add them in sometime. There we have a salad. Of course, a much larger portion of salad is also still available. That looks great. That looks great. All right. There you go on the first bite. Fasted about 20 hours. And it's really good. You can add avocado to add a little more creamy texture, and it'll fill the salad out. I don't want to add it to the main salad because avocado has a tendency of oxidizing, start turning brown. It tastes really good. I'll probably add more cabbage. Getting a nice crunch from all the vegetables. Delicious. I don't have much to say. Since I seasoned continuously, the salt mixed really well. Nothing feels like it's over seasoned and overbearing. It also doesn't feel like it hasn't been seasoned. Mm. It's really good. I have to be conscious of my eating pace, because sometimes when something's good, we just continue to consume without waiting for the body to take the food in after it's been chewed. To combat that, I usually try to eat with my left hand and repeat to myself, listen to your body internally, so I can know and be conscious and aware of how much I should be consuming, and if I'm actually eating to fulfill the hunger, or if I'm eating just because it tastes so good and I wanna eat it. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, take some time, try to find out what it is your body agrees with as far as vegetables. Purchase those vegetables and figure out which combinations work well with you. Maintaining good health physically and internally is essential. Reducing our sugar intake in those things that are carcinogenic or causing us to propagate disease is definitely something that is difficult to get away from because of the way our food supply is set up, but it's possible. You just have to be very, very intentional. Appreciate you watching the video. If you have any suggestions, or if you've tried this particular salad and added something that you'd like me to consider, carrot or whatever it may be, love to hear about what your suggestions are, and tune in again. Appreciate you. Peace.